I don't think it will be another Greece. I think there will be a lot more help forthcoming to Italy, being one of Europe's leading economies. Alvin Baker, Informa Global Markets. The Brexit repercussions were still being felt this week. How long do you believe Brexit will continue to impact global markets?
Okay, the Brexit situation isn't going to clear up anytime soon. UK political process in forming a new government behind a new leader is going to be a protracted one. The timeline at the moment is September the 9th for a Prime Minister in place, and there'll probably be a cabinet reshuffle. There might be pressure to go to the country and get a proper mandate to be able to govern freely for the next 5 years. And the likely winner of the contest, Theresa May, has already said that she's not likely to invoke the Article 50 until next year. It could be longer than that. So we're in for at least 3 or 4 months of uncertainty, which won't really be cleared up if Theresa May gets the job, as most people expect. She's sort of a bit on the fence in terms of some of the things that the Remain campaign that she voted for wanted. But then again, she's a little bit sort of more friendlier towards the Leave camp on immigration. So she does seem to be the market best fit for the UK to go and do some bargain hunting. So as far as market's concerned, maybe some of the extreme downbeat views on the UK economy will be seen in some numbers more than others. I think in the very, very post-Brexit aftermath, numbers will probably get worse, but then I can see in a few months' time them starting to sort of level out a little bit. And there's only a sort of maybe a 50% chance of full-blown recession at the moment. The credit rating agencies did their job protecting themselves, but I think for the most part, look at the reaction in the FTSE, isn't too bad. FTSE 250 today is doing quite nicely also. So it's not all doom and gloom.
The Eurozone jobless rate has fallen to a 5-year low. Will this last, or is it a bubble waiting to be popped?
This is a bit of a tricky one because, yes, we've down at a 5-year low, but extreme levels towards record highs of 11, 12% were a direct correlation to the Eurozone crisis, which was protracted because the ECB was very reluctant to go for QE, and it basically just exacerbated a slowing economy. Since then, since the beginning of this year, it's actually got its act together and gone full in with QE, and I don't think it's finished its job there. There's a carrot of more waiting, and there's still the measures that they've undertaken in recent months still to work its way through to the system. So the economy is going to possibly show some small improvements in growth in Q3 and Q4, which should help the downward trajectory in the unemployment rate. The average since 1998 is actually 9.6%. So we've got a fair chance of going down to that sort of level, though I don't think we'll reach the lows seen in 2008 when we had a 7% handle. So I think it's going to stay between 9 and 10% perhaps for the remainder of this year and into much of 2017 as well.
Economists are hinting that Italy could become the next Greece as its debt piles up. What is your outlook for the country?
I think most hinges on actually whether there's any help for the Italian banking industry and their non-performing loan sector in particular. Since the ECB decided that it needed some Italian banks to cut down their gross bad loans dramatically, almost by a third in the next 2 years, and singling out Monte dei Paschi in particular, the reaction in the markets has been quite severe. The MIB has underperformed broader Euro stocks index by about 50%. But it seems like there might be help to hand in terms of intervention by the Bank of Italy. Today, the Bank of Italy Governor Visco said that intervention on banks can't be ruled out, and apparently it is working with other European banking institutions to find ways that it can reduce its bad loans portfolio. So in terms of the overall outlook for Italy, it was sort of holding its own in terms of other Eurozone economies. And as I said before, with the ECB action helping Italian yields down to almost record lows, this should help some of the fears over its debt management, possibly Italy. I don't think it will be another Greece. I think there'll be a lot more help forthcoming to Italy being one of Europe's leading economies, where Greece was only a very small percentage of GDP. It is far larger and far more important in terms of the structure of the EU at a time when there's so much uncertainty related to Brexit.
Thanks, Alvin, for lending us your thoughts. That's all from myself, Celeste Skinner. Be sure to check back in for all the latest updates.